Good evening. This is K4PW, net control for the Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Looking to check in later, but right now we're going to looking for any emergency traffic. Nothing heard. There never is. I'm glad there isn't. If there is, jump right in there and say something if you have an emergency. Also, sorry for that slight delay. Also, like I said, if you have an emergency, just jump in there and say so. If you can't, call 911. Just tell us where you live and where you are. And we don't have the problem. So anyway, anytime, we're free. For information on the net, you can go to YouTube and K4PW, sign in, and on the search block, you can get the net going on. Also go to 146.415.net to look for information on Simplex. I think it's quite a good, well, I put it together about Simplex. Also, you can go to groups.io and put in MJSS, that's Mike and Juliet, Sierra. In the groups.io thing to come up, you'll see our web schedule. You'll also hear our net schedule. You'll also have an opportunity, if you like, to join our group. There's about 200 of us. They're a great place to ask questions about ham radio or anything technical related to ham radio or just anything in general about ham radio. But it's also a great place to sell equipment. And also you can contact me if you haven't figured out how to do the other things at K4.net. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night, as we are tonight on 146.415 FM. This is our about 10 and a half. It's April. No, it's about 10 and a half years. It might be a little over 10 years doing this net twice a week. The purpose of that is to have fun, which we've been kind of doing. I wouldn't be doing it for this long if it wasn't fun for me, and I also think of it as it's called kind of a public service because other hands get involved, and most of those are kind of in the public service mindset. Let's see what else. Anyway, being on the air helps everybody get better. Other stations that might not normally hear through the YouTube video, so they'll upgrade their antennas and hopefully not spend money using on their own finances, whatever those finances are. There's a hobby. You're not required to spend a full ton of money to put up a tower and buy a $10,000 radio and all that stuff, or buy more property to do it. The events is Saturday night. Sunday night we have a nice 10-meter net at 7:30 p.m. So don't forget to be there at 7:30 p.m. You get a reminder on the system for that. There's also a breakfast every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. at Golden Corral in Hermitage. And if you don't know where that is yet, it's right there, right in the middle of between the interstate and it's a little closer to 11. It's up on the hill behind the Chick-fil-A. Is there any other announcements besides the one about the 10-meter net or the breakfast or the fact that we're going to do a net tonight? Probably a bunch of people might not be there just due to the thunderstorms rolling through the area. So, hold on. I'm wondering why I don't have it. There it is. All right. Don't worry why I didn't have to see myself on the screen. Not that I care. I don't care to look at myself. I can't stand to listen to myself. I don't want to look at myself. I don't even want to talk to myself. Let's see. I don't even play solitaire. I have to play with myself. Let's see. We're going to start. Go ahead and start. We're at net number 1,101. We'll be starting from the west, but we're going to be taking check-ins from short on time mobile or first on check. Please come. How about people afraid of lightning? Alrighty, well, we're going to go ahead and start from the west then, because that's where we're starting. So west, please come now. Alright, let's do that again, because I didn't have my headphones on and I couldn't listen to you properly, so I just got them on. So let's do that again. Kilo Quebec 4, what was the rest? Very good. It's Ken in Portland. Good to have you in there. You doing all right? You get a little noisy today, but it might be due to all the thunder and lightning. very good. Anything good for the net? All right, very good. I really am not copying you very well, so if you said something really important, somebody will hear you and tell me about it. Anyway, that was Kilo Quebec 4, Golf Papa Sierra, and that's Ken in Portland. Who else is West? Oh, a voice of clarity. How you doing there, Jack?
One past about here about 30 minutes ago. I put all my stuff back up after it was over.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, it's, I saw it moving through, but it was mostly over Nashville. We caught a little bit of it, but it wasn't a whole lot.
It flashed right outside my window. That's why I had everything disconnected, but I'm still taking time. Anyway, carry on. AG4, LB.
Obviously, Jack is not a gambler. That was Jack in, we'll call it Donaldson today. Kilo Golf 4, India Lima Victor. Who else is West?
Kilo Golf 4, Charlie, Victor.
Hello, Greg. Anything good? You get a lot of rain down there as it moved up north?
It's pretty through here pretty good. Put that radar on. Some good for next half hour or so.
Yeah, they didn't say it was any. It even said it's not a tornado or hurricane, but they said it wasn't a serious storm.
Yeah, it didn't sound too bad. Some lightning, but I think it was mostly pulled out by Brentwood that I was in.
Yeah, I think I told you guys in Florida that one weather station down there would count. It was able to count lightning strikes, and we had some. I don't know how many came in that way, but one storm had over 1 million strikes in one storm as it moved off the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty bad.
Lightning alert. Lightning strikes and calculations.
Oh, cool. And that's on the web, I take it?
Oh, yeah, everything I love. Yeah, right. It wasn't a convention. It's not 20 bucks. Most of the way it works is, the electric pulse and then listen for the boom and then it calculates it.
Huh. And based upon where you are.
What?
Based upon where you are. I mean, obviously you give it your GPS location.
Oh, no, this is not that, no GPS or anything. It picks up the strike and then listen for the thunder and calculate.
As the storm approaches.
Yeah, well,
Well, I'm just saying they ought to do the triangulation for the weather stations, for the lightning, for the sound for you.
There's no triangulation going on there.
Yeah, very good. Anything else, Greg?
No, it's not that.
Yeah, we're not that sophisticated either. That was Greg. He is in Antioch. Antioch strong and Antioch ready for anything going down on the web. Kilo Delta 4, Charlie, Victor, Echo. Who else is West? Hello, John. What's up?
Oh, just unboxing a brand new DLR, and I wanted to see how it sounded on the
Well, very good. Which one did you get?
I went with the Echo. After sorting out all this sites, I got the Kenwood, I got the Icon, but this Echo 578, it lives up to all the heights they put out. I took it to Dallas, real quick, I just was in Seattle this week. I went to Seattle, Washington with it this weekend. My participated, plugged in a cigarette lighter plug in a rental car. Stuck a 19-inch on top of the roof, and I was very pleased with it.
Oh, very good. Did you only had any of the? Well, you hadn't had it set up for DMR yet, had you?
No, working on that tonight. The nice part about it, I got
Yeah, the quick story on when we started that net, everybody was buying radios, and everybody was struggling on exactly how to program those things for Simple. And so I couldn't quite figure it out properly, even though I'd gotten a code plug, as they call it, from somebody else, but I couldn't figure it out. I needed to know, and so I said, well, we got to put our heads together, and I set up a Zoom call for anybody who wanted to join. I'd expected only a handful of people. 17 people showed up.
No, I'm very new to DMR. It is very confusing. but I like the challenge. That's a terrible way of saying it. I like the challenge. And if you get out and concentrate, of course, everybody understands Juliet, so I'll go ahead and say that.
Well, YouTube did help. There's a couple, lots of people. Some people can make it very simple. Some people get into the weeds.
That Princeton University site is free. Of course, they're handling it quick, but they come really good information. There, just watching right through it. But no, I've been very pleased with it. I mean, it's under $500, and casting wise for his contact is almost unlimited. Software is limited now. And those that also now, the first device
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, I've got a similar model, but it's made by Alinka. I think that Anytone actually makes the Alinka.
I believe you're correct. I'm looking here at several sites. I think I told you I think that's where they cleaned out all the automobiles. I got 3 cars that I drive here, and I found that they have different radios, and each one of them, you're always stuff.
Oh, I get confused if I only have one radio.
I hear that. I'm expecting three. I'll appreciate all the work you did in that. Hope you're going through good rain and no damage.
Oh yeah, nice. Well, we need we always need the water. Always need the water. That was John, Kilo Quebec 4 Whiskey India Foxtrot, and he's in Hermitage. It's not too far west of me, between me and Nashville. Who else is west? Over to the south or down to the south? I'm presuming that's Larry. I just caught a hint of his voice. Prove me wrong there, Mike.
No, you're right.
Very good, Larry. Appreciate you. Anything good for the net?
Get on with it, Paul.
Oh, I'm getting on with it. Larry does the 7:15 p.m. That's 1915 for military types, or just hanging up on that 24-hour time. Net for D-Star. It's at 7:15 on 146.460. So jump in there. Even if you got a handheld, jump in there on Simplex on DMR. Figure out how to do it. Seems like people have trouble with that one too. Who else is south? There was 2 in there. Give the KQ4 first.
Good evening, all. It's Carlos, KQ4. I just wanted to check in. It's been a while. Hopefully you can hear me all right.
Oh, no, you're doing great. You must have got a ton of rain over there where you live.
Yeah, it's kind of slowed down a little bit. Yeah, we've gotten quite a bit of
No, you sound good. You sound great to me. I'm not sure. Which antenna? You have an antenna on a balcony, is that correct, if I remember it?
No, I've got an antenna up in a tree. This is, I'm using a Kenwood. It's the older, it's a TMD71A, and yeah, I just got a THC 75, speaking of D-Star, so I'm still trying to figure out how to just connect D-Star to a hot spot and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I've got a THC 71A for
Wow, that's a nice radio. I have one of those as well. How long have you had that TMV 71A?
That is for, I've had it a couple of years. One of the manufacturers was, they were having a special on it, and that's why I got it.
No, that's a great radio because I like it because I don't have it operating it right now in the shack, but I like it if I want to do crossband repeat, that kind of stuff. It really works great. I can sit around with an HT anywhere within probably a quarter mile and talk to people without, away from the house.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, But yeah, anyway, just wanted to check in tonight.
Well, glad to have you here. It'll be good to see you at the breakfast again. Everything going all right for you?
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. Just thanks for good health and all that. Yeah, everything's going good, man.
Fantastic. Glad to have you there, Carlos. That's Carlos. He's in Hermitage, Kilo, Quebec for India, Kilo, November. Who else is south? Well, you sound surprisingly good in spite of the storm there, David.
Oh, well, I think
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the rain washes off the antennas, and then the birds go and mess them up. Yeah, well, the rain's always good, and we always I don't always complain about it, but it's good for everything if it rains. Think if it didn't rain, what would happen?
Oh, we need a whole lot more dust, that's for sure. But anyway, I have something to make good.
Well, very good. Anything else for the net, David? Yeah, very good, David. That's David in Reedyville with a good signal from about 35 miles from here, southeast. That's KI4 November, Delta November. Who else is south? Hello, Jim. You sound pretty good in spite of the weather. Well, you're a little rougher than you normally are, so I'm assuming the weather's messing it up. You've got a nice beam pointing at me. Well, probably better. Other people could hear you too. I can hear you. It's just a little rough.
Okay, well, that should be a little bit better.
Yeah, you were just trying to do that global warming thing.
Nah, I was thinking like this, yes, there. I don't know how many watts I can put.
Well, just think, if you ran 1,000 watts for an hour, think about, you can do the math backwards from there, but that would only cost you about, I don't know, 30 cents?
Yeah, it doesn't cost too much, I think,
No, it doesn't, for sure. Anything good going on in your neck of the woods?
I'm out of the hospital. I had a hand operated on, antibiotics and the road to recovery. That's why I'm here. I haven't worked. For a little while anyways. I got for the doctor before I go back to work. So I'm here trying to figure out what these tires you do all day.
You wouldn't believe it if I told you. It's just, my days are just packed.
I'm sure that no
Well, no, you're right. But if you're used to working, you get used to it, believe me. I mean, the beauty of being retired is you only have to do the things you really have to do, and you don't have to be, I mean, when I worked, just like you, well, I didn't work like you, we have a different kind of job, but I had to be productive, and I had to bring in money, and I had to bring in new customers, and it was a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly challenge, and now I don't got to bring in crap.
No, I get it. I'm fine. Well, see, also I'm with this, what I can do also. I haven't been able to ride the bike at all. I haven't been able to do any work on it. You know, it's regular maintenance stuff and all and just one thing. So, you know, it's been limited to what I can do. So, you know, my time at home is basically spent trying to get my hands super right. So, and I understand that, you know, my experience here in the house is not like this.
No, all right. What? So, is there any permanent damage to the hand? That sounds bad to have surgery now.
No, it's going to take a little while. Once I get the flexibility back, the hand surgeon plastic surgeon told me that the strength will come back. I just have to get the mobility. The thing about a hand is that when they hurt their injured, they don't want to move. And these injuries, they get painful because you don't want to move them, so they don't get moved. It's better to stay still. Well, in order to get their hand better, to make it better, you have to move them. So basically, it's more to the move. And you got to work through the pain.
Oh yeah, I've been through that a couple of times. In the muscles, they'll take long to atrophy where they're not as good as they used to and the joints, they don't like to be moved after they've been sitting still for a week or two.
Well, mine hasn't been moved in 3 months, so I had surgery. We moved everything. The bone was good, the temperature was good. They fine. We did working therapy, and that's what I've been doing. So, I'm on the road to recovery.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. Boy, that's a rough road to hoe, as they say. I'm glad. Well, I'm just glad you're getting better.
Yes, sir. I'm going to stand by and get off the.
Yep, that was Jim in Woodbury. Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet. He had a hand injury from a dog bite that been giving him hell for a while, so not good. I'm just glad he's getting better. Who else is south? Over to the east.
KM4YRF.
You know, if a new guy was here, we would think we were stepping all over him, you know? We don't have any new people over there. Did you get my note about that? You're not showing as Mount Juliet, but you're showing as Nashville.
Yes, I got that, but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. I've been trying to sort through all the radio stuff.
Oh, I can't imagine. It's not a bad radio to keep. It's a backup or whatever. That 101, what is it? 10, what is it? Mark 2G, but I forget the first part. 106.
Yeah, it's the 706 Mark II, but it's not the G.
Oh yeah, well it's the G, and the Mark II without the G means it's without 70 centimeters. That's the bad part.
Yep, I discovered tonight though that the power cord is missing. I ordered one on Amazon and should have it tomorrow.
Oh yeah, well, not a big deal. What do you want for free?
Yeah, you can't be sticky when you get the stuff for free. You see the HP picture I sent you? It's a really, really old gauge 220 HP.
No, I saw it. I didn't read it. I didn't see the picture. I just saw the note, and I didn't get a chance. You know how busy it is when you're doing nothing. You know.
Oh yeah, it takes a lot of time and effort.
I'm not kidding. I don't know how I even work for a living.
Well, I got the battery on that 220 HP on the charger. I don't know if it's going to work or if the battery will charge, whatever. But I guess I'll know.
Well, I bet you there's a battery replacement for that in the system somewhere.
I'm pretty sure that it is because I believe I ordered one from Marty when I was over in Beltline.
You know, when your age, that could have been 15 years ago.
You're right about that. Well, I guess that's all I've got. I'll shut up and let you see how many more takes. KM4 YRF, I'm back to Nick and
Very good. That's Michael here in Mount Juliet, who filled in for me when I'm not here. That's Kilo Mike 4 Yankee on your podcast. I do appreciate Michael being on top of it for me. Does a great job. He also does the 10-meter net on Sunday nights. The only tri-mode 10-meter net that I'm aware of in existence. Anyway, make sure to check on that. 28.415 upper sideband on Sunday nights at 7:30. Anybody else east? Oh wow, rough copy there, Richard. But I got you in there in KI4SOR. Are you doing all right? I didn't hear. All I heard was KI4SW. I really couldn't hear almost anything Richard said, but I knew it was him. Was there anything pertinent I need to know about Mike?
Yeah, he had a trip to Florida that went really well. He's feeling better every day, and said that he'll use the breakfast set.
Very good. Well, if he's going to Florida, he's getting better because travel is not much fun if you're sick. You know the deal.
Oh yeah.
Very good. Appreciate you being there, Richard and Stephanie, and I'm glad you had a good trip to Florida. You should have coordinated with me. I was in Florida, whatever that was, 10 days ago, I guess it was, in St. Augustine. Who else is east? By the way, I look forward to Richard at the breakfast, hopefully Saturday, but whatever day is appropriate for him to get over there. Anybody else east or north?
Looking forward to Juliet.
Very good, Dan. You doing all right?
Oh, yeah.
You're not getting in any trouble up there, are you? Your days off you had?
No, that's good.
Well, obviously you don't get in trouble. You've been married a long time.
Oh, really? 37 years this month, next month.
Yeah, that's cool. I noticed a friend of mine, I haven't seen him since 1967, so he's a friend, but he's an old friend. Yeah, I didn't see him since high school, and I caught him on Facebook. I didn't even know he was there, and he probably didn't know I was there, and I saw on his Facebook page he'd been married 55 years. Like, we got married essentially within a year or two of getting out of high school. He's still married, happily married, living out in, where is he? Arkansas, that's where he is. I couldn't believe he was in Arkansas, because I didn't know where he went, but he went out, he lived in Washington State for like 30 years. It's like, why would you move out there?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, there must be something wrong with him that I don't know about. No, you know what I mean. Now, let's put it this way. You know, I used to think, just like when we, I'll just say conservatives, I'm not speaking for all conservatives, but I tend to think as Californians just, slapped full of Democrats and leftists. Same thing with Washington, same thing with Oregon. When in fact, there's more Republicans in the state of California than any other state in the union, if you can believe that, because they got a lot of people, obviously. And even in Oregon, I think was it Washington or Oregon, they were trying, some of the counties that weren't, no, it was Washington, that weren't near Seattle, they were trying to secede from the state and move over to Idaho.
Oh, wow. That is cool.
Yeah, I don't know what became of that. I don't know if it's still a legal hassle or if it's prod leftists over in Seattle, that kind of thing. But anyway, I digress. I don't hold any ill will. I'm just glad I'm in Tennessee and I'm among my peers.
I hear you. Great place to be. Storm sometimes, but anyway. I'll get you on the next one.
Yeah, besides that, water doesn't have any soap in it, you know that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, very good. That was Danny, Kilo Delta 4 Golf Oscar November. He is in station camp up near Cottontown. Who else is north? You're not far enough north, but you ought to be over the other side of the river.
Well, if I was, I'd be in Simplexton. I couldn't check in with river.
Yeah, but you're checking in with north. It's Michael who does the county crap.
Oh, that's right. And you know what? When I moved here, 15 years ago, I lived in Simplexton. And the problem was there was no reasonable bridge to get across to get into town. And yet, still that way.
Well, yeah, there's nothing except for going around the bend. I mean, that's your only choice.
Right, you got a bridge in Old Hickory and a bridge in Gallatin, and that's about it.
Well, I looked at that when somebody told me that, because I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. I didn't know there was no bridges going north unless you got way over to, what is it, 109? Is that the bridge on 109? Anyway, and I thought, well, it'd be nice you could run and I thought, if you tried to run a main line from Hendersonville to one of those fingers in the lake, and take it down to somewhere in Mount Juliet, like the Mount Juliet Road, everybody in Mount Juliet would have a fit. And if they run it through Hendersonville somewhere, they'd have a fit.
Yeah. Yeah, there was talk one time about extending Donaldson Pike on across the river with another bridge. But obviously it never happened.
Huh. They did that in St. Petersburg. I forgot the name of the road right now. But anyway, they needed it to make it better, another, because they had a whole bunch of north-south routes, and they got another north-south route. I think it's it's a bad one. I can't remember his name. They only lived in the 30s. Anyway, they extended one road and make it a road right over part of one of the bay. They just ran it straight through, and all they did, it didn't go over the bay. It just went over a part of the bay that jutted into the, into that part of the county. It wasn't like they were going there; they were still in the same county on the same road going south. It just looked funny to build a bridge that kind of didn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, there are lots of ridges down there. You can't go anywhere without doing something. And that Tampa Bay bridge, that is one scary bridge to me. I don't know why, but I just know that every time I go across it.
Well, did you get on it before the new bridge was on, back in the 80s?
Yeah, I've been on both of them.
Well, the old bridge, when it got hit by that freighter and it collapsed, everybody got really edgy because they were left with one bridge. And if you were going, let's say, and I did it, I went from south from St. Petersburg and down to going to Bradenton, Sarasota, down that way. And if there was even a ship in sight coming up the channel, going to Tampa Bay, going up to the Tampa freight yards, the entire traffic would come to a halt and nobody go over the bridge.
Yeah, I can understand that. That was a big deal. But the new one is just scary to me. That's one that's got a single set of trains down the middle to hold it up.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. It is easy to be a little anxious crossing a bridge like that. But it's been up there now for nearly 40 years.
Yeah, I guess it has. See, what is nice anyhow, I don't have anything useful for the net at all, so carry on. I'll talk to you later.
Well, I can tell you ain't been screwing with your rigs. You sound great again today, so we're doing real good. That's Mark, Whiskey Bravo 0, November, Oscar. I don't know why we keep changing things on our rigs, and I wonder why. Who else is north?
You look Quebec 4, Oscar Mike India.
Quebec 4, Oscar Mike India, or Quebec India? I apologize.
That's all right. Dan in Hendersonville. Safe from any bridges being built in Donaldson.
You say you vote against? Is that what you said?
I'm safe from it happening. I don't think it's going to happen. I live right between Walsh Ferry and Sanders Ferry and War would just mess this place up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It would mess up everything at your end, and it would mess up, because there's some pretty nice homes on both sides of the river, the lake, and nobody wants that traffic.
That's always good. You don't have to have that stuff.
No, but it's just, I guess it's like me. I don't travel a lot to Nashville, so if I lived in Sumner County or where you live, it wouldn't bother me not to be able to come on to it, because I wouldn't be going to Nashville either.
Right. I used to be a home health nurse, and my area was in Mount Juliet, so it's kind of a pain, but it's not that long.
No, but in a way, you chose your poison in living in a place that's a little more isolated, and that's not unusual. My wife, who works for the Postal Service, says there are people who go to come to work at the Royal Parkway address there in East, I guess it's down also, and they drive in from the Army base up here at the state line.
Well, yeah, I used to live in western Indiana, and I worked in Indianapolis. It was like 85 miles, and, I chose it.
Yeah, it does get old, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it got real old.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I never really had to. Well, that's not true. When I worked in sales, in project management, it wasn't unusual for me to get up in the morning, get up early, and drive maybe 90 minutes to go look at a project for an hour and then drive back. Because I had, so it's like, what a great trip that was. Well, not for nothing. It was just, a long trip to see something.
Yeah, I was one of those guys that just rented an apartment and worked about 312s in a row, so it wasn't too bad.
That's cool. How did you manage 312 doing home health, though? You're going to people's homes, right?
No, at that time I was working in a downtown hospital in Indianapolis.
Okay, great. Wow, that'd be great. So you get a 3-day week, and then you get the 4 days off. That's super.
Yeah, but one day you gotta sleep.
Did you not get much sleep on those three 12-hour days?
No, because you're there an hour before, you end up being there an hour after, and then you gotta drive to the apartment, get a few hours of sleep, so yeah,
How long did you do that?
20 years.
I thought you were going to say 3 or 4 or 20 years. Holy crap. Well, you really did get used to that, didn't you?
Yeah, I was a zombie. Most of it was night shift.
Oh, wow. When you say night fish, it was like 4 to, let's see, it was 12 hours. Was it 4 to 4 or something, or 5 to 5?
17, 7, 8.
Oh, okay. Very good. Wow. Wow, I didn't even know they did that. Why do they do that? Because they're paying you a real premium time for part of your hours at least, aren't they? I mean, a premium time for all your hours, what am I saying?
Oh yeah, Indianapolis pays real well. You know, we had to work 36 hours and then we got overtime. And we could get overtime. So, you know, I made about $60 an hour and I was only work overtime for double time. So I mean, it was a lot of overtime.
Yeah, but did they ever ask you to work over the 12?
Yeah.
Oh, but they did extra days, but not over 12.
They would let you do 16, but I wouldn't do.
Yeah, I'd worked on work crews in construction that we were working 12-hour days for 5 days a week, and then we worked half a day on Saturday. I'm not sure why we did that, but it was a pain.
That's company money, that's why you did that.
I think so. I think it did, because we really stayed ahead of the projects, too, on our construction issues. We were always ahead of the other crews. I enjoyed the money, believe me.
I'm just saying you're sounding as different setting that I had last week. Pretty well.
Oh, yeah, it's clear as a bell. It really is good audio, good signal, everything. I haven't even looked at the signal, but I'll see it when you come back in the next transmission.
Yeah, it's 2Y9800. It's just a mobile. I got that.
Yeah, you're 40 over easily and got a great audio, so I don't think I'd worry too much. And that TYT is a nice radio.
Yeah, I mean, for the price, it does just about everything.
Yep. No, they've been very competitive. I only have one of those, but it's a handheld. It's a DMR and analog handheld, which not much to do with it. 70 centimeter DMR handheld.
Yeah, I've got another mobile DMR that's a radiometer. I use the DMR.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah. No, it's amazing how many different ways there is to skin a cat in memory.
Oh yeah. I was surprised that last week or week before, and I used the C4 FM off the Aussie. Simplex, that kind of surprised me. It was easy.
Yeah, Simplex on that mode works pretty well. It's not quite as good on. It doesn't appear to be anyway, because we don't have that many people on the C4 FM or not the C4 FM or the D-Star or the what do you call it? The D-Star or the I'll get it right here. The D-Star or I gotta get my words straight. DMR or D-Star don't seem to do as well as the C4 FM. Well, I'm not sure why that is, but it does work. Maybe the Japanese know how to do it better.
Yeah, probably for that C4 FM is seamless. The DMR, I'm telling you what, once you get it fixed, it works. But I'm telling you what, it's just 3 or 4 weeks to get that thing to work.
Yeah, I know. It's like they handed you a computer and said, "You figure it out."
Exactly. Well, hey, I won't have time to do it any longer. 5401 my back to that.
Yeah, very good. That's Dan, and he is in Hendersonville. Yeah, Henderson. Kilo, Quebec for Oscar, Mike, India. Anybody else north?
November 8th, November Hotel Tango.
Hello, Hayes. What's up with you?
Just working in the garden, working and whatever. I was not able to get the backyard mowed. It's looking like a jungle. So now we got a bunch of rain coming through. So at least I got the front yard done.
Oh, you'll have some work to do after it dries out in a day or so.
Yeah, but then there's a bunch more rain coming. I don't know if it seems like we got 3 days in a row of rain coming up.
Yeah, I went through that in Florida. We had an unusual amount of rainfall. It rains a lot there, but it had an unusual amount of rain in my entire backyard. They had a good backyard, wonderful grass growing back there. And when I'd walk out there, and I'll just say I had sneakers on. When I walked through the yard, I'd be stepping up and it'd be over the laces every time I took a step.
Yeah, I don't like that kind of stuff. What part of Florida did you live in again?
Say again? I lived in Tampa. I'm sorry. I lived in Tampa only for 36. Well, I lived in somewhere in Tampa or in Hillsborough County. I lived in Lutz, Florida, through LUTZ.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I've never lived in, well, I was in the military for a few months in Florida, but that's the most time I've visited there. I haven't been there in a while then.
Yeah, when I grew up, I thought Florida was nothing but beaches and condos. And then I moved there and I went, wow, middle of the state's full of cows, oranges, and nothing.
A bunch of traffic.
It's unbelievable how much traffic is in Central Florida, around Orlando, going from Daytona over to St. Petersburg. It's truly, I was told one time that Interstate 4 between those two locations was one of the busiest, maybe I don't remember what they said, interstates in the nation.
Yeah, that don't sound like a lot of fun. Let's see, when I was in Texas, Austin traffic was pretty bad too. But yeah, I not too long ago I took the kids to Florida. We went to Perry, Florida, like on the Florida shaped like a gun to be on the trigger, but we go there and we're the beach. Someone's like, oh, where are you all from? We don't get out of town people very often. I'm like, that's my spot now.
Yeah, there's some neat remote places all up through that west. I'll just say west of Tallahassee. No, excuse me, between Mobile and which is in Alabama and Jacksonville. There's not a whole lot.
Yeah, if I was still living in Florida, that'd be my spot. That's the way I would go, you know.
Yeah, just don't get too close to the coast.
Yeah, roger that. Hey, I won't take up too much time, man. Hey, K4PW, this is N8NHC. I'll let you get back to that.
Very good. That's Hayes in Hendersonville, November 8, November, Hotel Tango, Big Signal. Who else is north?
Hey, you're all right. Riversville.
Hello, Eric. You doing any good up here holding down the fort in Riversville?
I'm holding down the fort. That's about it. Not much else going on. Did some work today and didn't really get on the radio too much. And then she's been driving a lot more. I got the mobile rig and I talked to a guy even on the 146 here. First I was driving, I didn't get a cell phone, but that was cool to hear a CQ out and someone heard me and came back.
Hey, with the business you're in pretty much low voltage wiring, etc., have you had to cope with more lightning and voltage issues than you would where you were before?
Yeah, negative. Most of our stuff is all interior stuff. Back in the old days, a long time ago, I like to say back in the late 1900s, we used to put some antennas outside and satellite dishes that we would ground. But of course, that was in California too. They don't get the lightning like they do out here.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah, I just wasn't sure how far you went into that stuff outside. Well, there's cameras outside, right?
Yeah, but they're on the house, and they're not, they're there. What's the sense that a camera getting hit by lightning versus, the top of a house or a tree or something?
I don't think I'd make that challenge.
Yeah, copy that. And they're low voltage, so they would just get smoked really quickly. But, yep, I got my one radio back, my 991 I'm talking about right now, that's back from the shop. Got the USB 6 on it, and I got the other DX10 that hopefully will be back in the next couple of weeks.
Well, I think it still needs work because it's only 55 over.
Yeah, you're about the same here too. You're about 55 over here.
Yeah, very good. No, it sounds great. It really does. In fact, it might be just a little bit overdriven. I'll tell you what, you listen to it on the air and we're at whatever hour we're at, whatever minute. Wherever we are, it's 44 minutes after the hour when you're on the air, if you haven't already heard it. But then go listen to it yourself and you can figure it out. Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. It just seems a little raggedy on the edges.
Yeah, copy that. Probably a little yelling a little too loud into the mic, and I'll check my mic gain. I'm not sure what it's at after it's been back, so I'll check that out. But that's it. Thanks for doing that. Back to you. KN30URI.
Yeah, very good. That's Eric in Goodlettsville, Kilo, November 4, Echo, Romeo, India. Probably, aside from Michael, the best big signal on the net. Anybody else north or anywhere? All right, last chance. We're going to 446, 415. Nobody else north or anywhere? Well, then it's last call for dilly daddlers, dahliers, spuddlers, landlubbers, sandbaggers, lollygaggers, lurkers, skulkers, slackers, lackeys, toadies, lackards, repeaters, chunkers, shape-shifting lizard people, moon landing deniers, moon occupied by alien deniers, moon on the backside occupied by foreign nations deniers, flat earthers, and flat earth deniers. Scanner listeners, downers, preppers, and the all-time end-time survivors. Maybe I ought to add the Koresh. Waco Koresh. What's that called? Koresh. Anybody out there? Hey, what are you identifying now? Busy?
Yeah. I just got in from Tokyo by way of Chicago, headed home.
Oh boy, it's an irregular route for you these days, I tell you.
Yeah. So, I just thought I'd give you a quick check-in and back to that. Take more hail.
Well, yeah, tell me real quick, very quick. You can tell me in one word. How many hours is it between Chicago and Tokyo?
And going that way, it's about 12. Coming this way, it's about 11.
Well, I guess I kind of knew that, but I've never made that route. So that's a lot of time on the air. Anyway, good to have you in there, Alan. Let's get more. That's Kilo for Alpha Lima. He flew in. And boy, no, I'm not going to say that. he lives. He's got a remote shack. That's why he sounds so good. He's actually on his. I think he's mobile, and he's on his way back to his house in southeast Wilson County. Anybody else out there?
KO4 ULT.
KO4. That's KO4 ULT, right?
Yep.
Isn't that Rick?
That is.
Man, my memory's good. I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yes, sir. It's been quite a while.
You doing okay? There wasn't any reason for the delay, was there?
Yeah, well, that's last year or so, but
Now, join the club. I've had several issues in the past few years myself.
yeah, everything's doing better. So, heard y'all, but there was any weather nets or anything on, and found you, and it's just like a little call, so I hung out.
Yeah, very good. You're still in, I'll think of the name of the town in a second. I only get there about once every 2 years.
Hartford.
Yes, Hartsville. Very good. How could I forget that? It's a nice little town, but it's like on the fringes far enough that not a whole lot happens up there, except for more growth.
That's it. Yeah, everything's got lots of growing traffic, rolling up here. Actually having traffic jams now, so yep, it's going like everywhere else.
So you got a lot of new housing developments running up there. Any apartment buildings?
Absolutely. Just the property so down the road that we saw $80,000 an acre.
What? That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
It is, but I mean, they sold like 30-something acres, and it brought like 1.7 million, and it was bringing over $80,000 an acre.
Oh boy, so that just goes to show you though, the demand is dictating those prices. Obviously it's competitive and they can get the money, but it just raises the price to everybody's homes or apartments. Where do they think that is? Nashville?
Well, I'm not in Greenwich, but I tell you, there's a whole lot of California and Mississippi. I've never seen anything that has take place.
Pretty soon you're going to have two Burger King.
McDonald's.
Oh, it's just McDonald's up there?
Yeah, that's it. It's a Sonic.
Okay, well that's good enough, but you're going to have 4 of those soon. I can see it coming.
Oh yeah, we've already got like 6 or 8 Mexican restaurants, so yeah, we'll have a few more of those too.
Well, we were up in Lebanon yesterday, just driving around, and we were going to go to the movies over there at the Roxy Theater in Lebanon, and which is a great theater. I love it. In fact, I was surprised. Here it was. Today's Wednesday. It was Tuesday night. It was a 9 p.m. 9:10. I'm lying about it. 7:10 p.m. movie, and the movie, almost all the seats were sold.
Yeah, and it's that way all the time. It's not just that night, it's almost every night. My wife does the same thing with our granddaughters. And she makes sure now that she actually buys them early.
That's amazing, because in Providence here in Mount Juliet, there's nobody there even on a Friday night. Not nobody, but just very few people. We've gone to those movies, and there might be 5 people in the theater.
Well, that's just because Lebanon doesn't have all
I don't know. We did notice, though, when we were traveling around, that, you know, Lebanon's got everything in fast food. If you want fast food, it's in Lebanon, up and down the road there.
No, that's true. That's true. Paul, I'm going to be that glad, buddy. I know you got everything so good. Other hands to team day. So it's good hearing you. Good talking to you. Good to you. Appreciate what you do. Cal for GLT back in.
Yeah, that's Rick in Hartsville. Hadn't heard from him in a while. I'm glad he's doing well. And that's Kilo Oscar 4 Uniform Lima Tango. By the way, it was a big signal. I mean, I don't remember it being that big before, but it's really good tonight. The rain must have cleared it out. Is there anybody else out there?
Anyone else to be along?
You're just bound and determined to be last, ain't you, Skip?
I work on it.
You doing all right? I was worried about you. You hadn't checked in a couple of minutes.
I tried. I had Sunday night on 10 meter that nationwide that band was good, but I was also over in Georgia at my son's house the past week.
Oh, that would have been a little tough. How's your son doing?
Oh, doing wonderful. That little bouncing boy there got to be 2 in July. Has a lot of things spending the week with him.
Yeah, 2 years old is fun. Well, it can be fun, let's put it that way.
Yeah. You know, you hear the terrible cues, but not with that one.
Well, I don't know. I had 2 boys. I had 3 boys, so I know what all that means.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I thought I was just thinking, oh, I'm done with that music. And with YouTube too.
That's one of those royalty-free musics you can get off the web.
Oh, I drowned it out and every bit of it too.
Drowned it out. It should be off. It's not still on, is it?
Oh, I don't know now. I finally turned it off. Yes.
Oh, I just turned it. I didn't realize I didn't turn it off. That's horrible. I'm sorry. I wish somebody would have mentioned that. That was an oversight.
Okay, I figured something was up. All right, going to 446 next, you say?
Yes, 446, 415. We'll be there if you're the last one, which I'm pretty sure you are.
Okay, we're doing 6. Do we do 6 meter or 10 meter tonight?
No, it's 10 meters tonight and 6 on Saturday night.
Got you covered. I got to set things up. All right, we'll catch you on 446. K1SVD.
Yeah, very good. That's Scott in Laverne, Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta. I'm surprised we had 21 people tonight, given that we had storms and lightning and storms and lightning. That was the big deal. I don't think there's anything else interrupting the night, unless, I don't know, there's something big on TV. Anyone else before we go?
There's something big on TV. NHL playoffs.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't watched hockey with any in a long time. I watched hockey when I was a kid, and I pretty much I knew every team because they were all, there was only like 7 teams in the whole league.
Okay, show your age there.
Oh, I know. And Toronto was my team, man. It was Toronto, Chicago, Montreal, Boston. I'm not sure if Pittsburgh got into that then or not. I don't recall. And Detroit, Chicago. That was primary teams: Detroit, Chicago, Montreal, Toronto, and Boston. And like I said, I'm not sure. Buffalo didn't have a team then. I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh didn't have a team until early 70s, something like that. Anyway, yeah, I am showing my age, but I tell you what, it was fun. I'll tell you a story about that sometime, about the hockey way back when. All right, anybody else? All righty, we're going to go to 446, 415. We'll see you there. It's not low power, so jack up that 446 to a maximum of, well, maybe you got 50 watts. We'll catch you there. K4PW.
Okay.
This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey. Here on 446, 415. Looking for check-ins from the west. Please come now.
KG4ILV.
Boy, oh boy, KG4ILV. Who else besides Jack and Donaldson? KG4ILV. Who else is there? Anybody else west? Man, everybody dropped off. Greg, did you get lost there?
No, Greg's in there. You can't hear him.
Oh, wow. All righty. That was Greg. Well, we believe that was Greg. Kilo Delta 4, Charlie, Victor, Echo. Anybody else west? Down.
Get in there, Greg.
I put them in as a silent chicken. I did it with, it's like a silent auction. You just raise your hand, All right, who else? Anybody else south? Well, it's going to be a big night. Anybody else south for sure?
Yeah, K1 yesterday.
Ah, there you go. Very good. Got back in the groove there tonight. Very good, Scott. That was Scott and Laverne. Kilo 1, Sierra Papa Delta. Who else is south? How about the east?
KM4YRF.
Okay, that's Michael in Mount Juliet here. KM4YRF. Who else is the east?
K4AL.
Hey, Alan. Very good. You're still you are mobile and back to the house, right?
Yep, I'm about to hit the left.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. You sound pretty good. A little bit of picket fencing, but no big deal. Kilo 4 Alpha Lima, mobile. Who else is east? All righty, we're going over to the north.
84 Juliet.
Well, you sound good as always there, Danny. It's Kilo Delta 4 Golf, Oscar November. Who else?
WBZ.
Yep, you sound pretty darn good yourself there, Mark. It's Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar. Oscar. Who else is north? It's got to be Eric in it.
KM4, you're right. Eric, north. Running that 50,000 milliwatts.
Yeah, it's funny. For local nets, you can buy amps for 2 meters. I don't even know how the biggest amp you can buy, but can you imagine having 1,000 watts on 2 meters?
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, well, I think they do get into the really high power for like moon bounce or meteor scatter, I believe.
Yeah, but that's a lot of power for that. Yeah, I don't have any amps yet. Someday, probably going to get a tower first, then I'll get to the amp.
Well, I think I've been through that drill before. I mean, I'll say it again. It occurred to me, or somebody asked me, it'd be nice to put a tower in for net control. I said, well, I'm already in a great spot for what I want to do here in Mount Juliet, in the center of the Middle Tennessee. And I do get into the fringe of Kentucky, but I don't need a local net doesn't need to cover 5 states. It's that simple. But for HF and other things, yeah, if you're trying to do, multiple locations on the VHF, UHF, you would want a tower.
Yeah, copy that. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm in a pretty good location too. I'm definitely lucked out. I wasn't even thinking about that when we bought this place. So yeah, I got lucky there.
Oh yeah, well that was my plan. I didn't have any idea either. I moved in. I married a woman who had a house already, and I was here for a little while. And I looked at what's the elevation. I went, what am I doing? I need to have a net. Anyway, that was the whole story. That was Kilo November 4 Echo Romeo India, and that's Eric in Goodlettsville. Anybody else north?
Kilo Quebec 4 Oscar Mike India.
Very good. You sound good in there. Kilo Quebec 4 Oscar Mike India, and that's Dan in Hendersonville. You sound good. You're on the same. Well, you're on 70 centimeters, so it's not quite as good as your 2 meters.
Yeah, I think this one does pretty good. So I'm glad to hear it well.
Oh yeah, it sounds good. It really does. I mean, I wouldn't know the difference really if I was on 2 meters because it just sounds okay. All right. That is Dan in Hendersonville. Who else? Kilo Quebec 4 Oscar Mike India. Anybody else north? Boy, for a rainy night, we don't normally get 10 on 70 centimeters, but we sure did. Anybody else? Last chance. All right, then we're going over to 28.415. For those of you who are still connected on HF. That's not really HF. It's the lower band of VHF. 28.415, that's where we're going next, unless I hear somebody scream. All right, that's where we'll be. All right, we're on 28.415. This is K4 PEW with net control for the Mike. If you wouldn't mind announcing it on the 2 meter side, and we'll go from there.
Will it?
Very good. Anyway, anybody check-ins from the west? Please come in.
Kilo Delta 4 Charlie, correct?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you at all on 70 centimeters there, Greg.
Yeah, it was awful. Like always, I was thinking I heard where Eric and Jack, so for whatever reason, the conditions were all wonky.
Oh yeah, well you sound okay here. That's Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo in Antioch. Who else is west?
Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor.
All right, sound good too as well, Jack. That's Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor in Donaldson. Who else is west? Over to the south.
K1SPD.
Very good. We got Scott in the south. Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta. He is in Laverne. And boy, that's you're the only one from the outlying counties today.
Outline.
Well, you're not in Davidson, are you?
No, I'm in Rutherford.
So I'm saying that's outlying to me. No, it's we just don't get that many check-ins from Rutherford County. We get them, of course, from Sumner County a lot. Obviously Davidson County, but Rutherford's you're like it.
Next thing you say, it's going to be DX.
Yeah, that's right. Not quite. It'd be DX if we all had the handy talkie. So.
Well, I am the only one that checks in on Sunday night.
Yeah, no, it's good. We appreciate it. I mean, it's again. I'll just say that when we had a lot of check-ins, I mean, we had upwards of 50, 35 to 50 check-ins for a lot of nights. In fact, it was hard. It was kind of a pain because me and Mike were trying to figure out how to better handle that kind of volume. But it was really more. I think people were trying to check it out, and once they realized they could talk, it wasn't important for them to stay because the nets got really long. And so we used to have a bunch of check-ins from Murfreesboro. We really did. And they kind of, I think they started their own net. I don't know what they're doing, but it doesn't matter. They learned what everybody else learns, that they can get out on Simplex, and it's all good.
Yeah. All right. We'll carry on. K1SPD.
Yeah, that was Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta Scott in Laverne. I went through that silly drill again. But anybody else south? All right, very good. That's Jimmy. Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet. I did get that right, didn't I? Okay, yeah, you're a little bit low, but I got you. I got since I have headphones on, I can hear pretty good. Anyway, it's Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet, and that's Jim in Reedyville, in Woodbury. Who else is south? Or we didn't do east yet. Yeah, we need to do east.
KM4YRF.
All right, we got Michael here in Mount Juliet, KM4YRF. Who else is east? And up to the north.
KD4GON.
KD4GON. That's Danny in what do you call it? Station Camp up near Cottontown. Kilo Delta 4 Golf Oscar November. Who else is north?
WB0NOO.
Yeah, big signal on. You sound like you're overdriving 70 centimeters, but you sounded great on 2 meters. That's weird.
I don't know. Maybe I was holding the mic a little close. I'm on a hand mic.
Okay. I don't know what the deal is. Those hand mics have the superior microphones, don't they?
Yep, they do.
Yeah, they just drill a hole and that's where it goes. Anyway, that's Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar, and that's Mark in northwest Wilson County. Anybody else north?
KN4 ERI.
Very good. We got Eric in Goodlettsville with a big signal. Kilo November 4 Echo Romeo India. It's not as good on 70 centimeters though. I mean, as 2 meters.
Yeah, copy that. This is doing okay. The tuner has kind of been messed up, but it's working good now.
No, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. 20. It's a little tougher on 10 meters than it would be on any of the other VHF, UHF bands. Anyway, that was Eric KN4 ERI. He's in Goodlettsville. Who else is north? Ah, very good. We got Dan up there in Hendersonville, Kilo, Quebec for Oscar, Mike, India. Decent. It's readable, but it's not a great signal. Are you doing anything different on 10 meters? I don't remember what you did last time. All right, very good. Yeah, just a little low, that's all. Anyway, that's Kilo, Quebec for Oscar, Mike, India in Hendersonville. Anybody else? I feel like I'm hearing somebody. Mike, do you hear somebody?
No.
Okay. Again, it's those people that talk to me in my head. And last chance before we move over to 223-415. Please come now. All right, appreciate everybody being there. We can believe it. We had a really good net for a busy, for a storm-related night. We had 21 on 2 meters, 10 on 70 centimeters, and 10 on 28.415, which is slightly unusually, a little higher than normal. That's all. To have all three of them higher than normal. So we'll go over 223-415. And yeah, we didn't even have, there was 2 or 3 people not in there tonight that normally would be because of the storm. So over to 223-415. We'll see you there. I'm closing out this the broadcast here, so we'll see you there. It's not a broadcast.